Well, I've given the hydraulic pump a bit of a bath, just for the filming, so we can get to see stuff. I've got it sitting up on a pallet. You can see the back of the pallet over the back there, I believe, over through here. And I can't see the monitor most of the time, just the way we have to be set up. So hopefully I can keep you in the frame reasonably well. If I zoom out a little bit, that might give us a bit better chance. And we'll work with that. So, okay, to start with, we've got another split pin to remove here. Now this is how the drive comes into the pump. It goes onto the back of the gearbox and away we go from there. We need straightening a bit at this other end. Right, one split pin, and there's the coupler. It's pretty self-explanatory, I suppose. Just goes in and the split pin goes in. We'll put him up over the back there. Now a couple of things that's easy to undo now, while we have it assembled, is the relief valve here. It's just easy while you've got something to support it without using the bare housing. Now this little clip down here, someone's put a little bit of wire in here. I've never seen that before, but it's probably a good idea. So if we pop that out, so there's the little pin. And here is the clip. There, it's a long way down. So the clip normally just pushes up over and this part locks in over so it can't come out, but they may have had trouble. This has had the whole thing bent over. So anyway, it took a bit of getting off, so it probably wouldn't have fallen off, would it? Now this is a careful little thing you have to do. Now on the bottom here, when we slide this out, that's your main fork that works your control valve. Now on the end of the control valve, there's two little rollers. And a pin. Very easy to lose. We'll put them over there. And that's the end of your control valve. And see, that feels to be working nicely, so that's okay. Now I suppose we could start at this end here and just rattle off these bolts on the inlet manifold plate. And a couple of 7/16 ones here. I'd probably normally have this in a vise, but anyway, it's just for the sake of filming, I'm trying to have it accessible. We'll see how we go with that. Maybe a good video might be bloody out of focus and all over the shop. Okay, so that's the plate that the inlet filter sits on. You can see the rubbish in there. No wonder it wasn't working like it should have. And you can see the build-up of sludge here and in here. Just plenty of it. Okay, on your control valve here, you have an O-ring, and that's a blank hole. It just sits on the back. You could actually bring that up there and you'd see it better, wouldn't you? Now these washers on the control valves are important, and that's still got a spring at the back there yet. So we'll pop that aside. Now while we've got it held to something, we might pop the valves. Now there's a couple little valves in each hole here. So just circlips. They're actually spring loaded to get in, so they do get stuck on a burr sometimes when you try and get them out. There's a thread down the centre for a pulling bolt if you need one. I think you'll have a lot of crackling in the video from the shed expanding and contracting, but that's all we got. Okay, we'll find a little 1/4 inch bolt for that. I should have had one here. There you go. That's probably not textbook, that bit. Right, so we have the plug there. You can see the wear marks from the circlip. And underneath it, that has a spring, and the spring holds the valve in down here. MIG pliers, MIG welder pliers, great thing. Nice and skinny in the jaw here. That valve's quite worn, you can see an indent in it, but that's okay. I have them work like that, no worries at all. The spring for the next valve. And I might have to just tip him up and this other valve should just drop out. And there it is. So that goes that way. So the basics of how it works, I'll just tidy up here a little bit. The basics of how it works is the piston comes away, so it causes a low pressure area here, so this little light spring opens up. This valve can't open up because it's against the seat. And when the piston comes back and pushes, well, this has gone back onto the seat, but then it opens this valve here and this valve comes open. And it just slides inside that fella. But look, all in all, look, they're worn, but all in all I've seen worse. I'd be more concerned about the bore wear we're going to see here. So I'll just see if this one wants to come out easy for us or wants to play hard to get. Now we pay to keep these valves in the order that they came out. Just so if you want to reuse them, you can pop them down in on the seat and you'll be okay to do so. Now, so you can continue on and do the whole lot of those, no worries, take them out. Now this little lever here, you see when the hydraulic pump moves, that's on an eccentric, and that actually works the valve here. It just rocks it back and forth, and that rock back and forth should stop the valve getting stuck in the bore. So it just keeps it moving to stop it yeah, getting wrecked really, yeah. Right, we'll grab a spanner for that. In this case it's my trusty shifting spanner. I'll get rid of that pin as well at this time. Now you can see here, that's the back of your control valve. Now there's a little spring clip here, and inside here where's the end? I can't see the end. And that should be a little wire clip sitting here somewhere. But it's just a small wire clip. I didn't think it fell anywhere, but anyway, I can't see it at the moment. Now that lets the centre of your control valve come out. Quite a bit of wear there. If you can feel any wear here, it's too much. You can certainly feel it there. So we'll put that aside. I don't think we'd be using that again. Now on the front of your main control valve, you have a guide and a washer holding the guide in, so that just comes out the front. And there should be some more washers up there. They're a bit stuck at the moment by the looks. And the washers are that tight to fit on the control valve here. And the washers are a snug fit. This cage just holds it in place. There's such a tight fit there that the metal on metal does the sealing for us. But we should be right. Now we've undone the back here, we should be right to rattle these fellas off. So we'll get a 9/16 socket. And rattle away. They're shake-proof washers. Now this housing should just pop away. Now the wearing part on this housing is the bush. Surprisingly enough, that looks pretty good. You can buy a new end housing, I see, but I've never fitted one. Usually if they get that bad, I put a new pump in. Now that's our guide for our control valve. Now from here, the front housing will come away. Once again, you have O-rings here. You're still in frame, yep. O-rings here for your pressure, a bush to support the cam. And this is your actual working group. They're your sleeves, and these are your pistons. Now these pistons have rings on them. The rings are quite sharp. We'll pop this back one off. Well look, my camera shuts down at half an hour, which really gives me the shits. But I can't seem to be able to get around that. But I'm not sure yet, until we get into the editing process, what we have and what we don't have. But the main thing with the video is about stripping this pump. Now, your crank there has a lot of wear in it. You can actually feel the grooves with your nail. The cam here, it has a bit of wear in it, and bits and pieces up the side. We can see lots of wear there, and you can actually see scoring in the pistons here. So this cam actually sits on the front of the bush here, of the bearing surface. Now this shaft at the back here, you can see where they've banged the PDO into gear without shutting it down properly. The hardening's coming off the corner there. The bearing inside's toast. And on the hydraulic pistons here, you can see we have even when we push them in somewhere around the sides, we have an awful lot of movement there. Now they should be a snug fit in that groove, and on the piston ring itself we can also feel a little lip just in there, and we can see the shoulder on this side, on the pressure side of there. So they're not worth using again. Whether we go ahead and buy a full kit for this pump remains to be seen. I'm probably thinking we won't put it together, and the price of a new pump versus the kit won't be a lot of difference by the time we include a crank. Most kits don't include the crank. You can buy a major or a minor kit, and they'll include things like pistons and valve chambers and your bearing housings here. They don't include this back bearing there. There is a little bit of movement, a little bit of wear around the back here. You can see a bit of scoring. That's not ideal. So all in all, I think what we're going to do is probably replace the pump. And that was the housing that the little clip popped on. That's your little wire clip I hooked out and couldn't see. So for the moment, I think we may have missed a little bit of video right at the end there because of my camera and its 30-minute thing. And sometimes when you're getting into pulling something apart, you just work along, and next thing you know, you have a look and the camera's not recording. So I don't know what we do about that. Probably a different brand camera maybe. But anyway, at this stage, that's all we're going to do with the pump. We're going to park it up and yeah, leave it until we make a decision.